Fall to the earth, fall to the earth and cry, watching you struggle with the things you should let go. Bury it down inside, killing the fire's light, the essence that is you. And the fear strikes deep when your heart is an ocean, and the plans she keeps are an open book. Run away with me, you know my arms are open. Let's spin around at the speed of sound till we combust like ashes and dust. I've seen your grace, I've looked upon your true face, a bundle of energy that you should not contain. Just let it go, just let all your feelings show, for a life less ordinary waits for you. And the fear strikes deep when your heart is an ocean, and the plans she keeps are an open book. Run away with me, you know my arms are open. Let's spin around at the speed of sound till we combust like ashes and dust. When your heart is an ocean, and the plans she keeps are an open book. Run away with me, you know my arms are open. Let's spin around at the speed of sound till we combust like ashes and dust. Ashes and dust. Buried in your soul is a heart song that you keep. Shallow is the grave till you're lying next to me. Put it all apart. I'm a thief for your love. Buried in your soul is a heart song that you keep. Shallow is the grave till you're lying next to me. Pull it all apart. I'm a thief for your love. Yeah.
And that was No Promises with their most recent single released, Ashes and Dust, here on a Friday night on goRadio.Live. A great song by our friends Eric and Janine down there in South Gippsland. But rather than just talking about them, let's talk to them. Hello, Janine. Hello, Eric.
Hi, how you going, Neil?
Hello.
Doing very well, thanks, team. The song Ashes and Dust, it's pretty new. It's only been out 2 or 3 weeks. How has it been received?
Surprisingly, yeah, no. We try to do as much promotion as we can, and when we started off, we had no idea what we were doing, but we've
Do you think we still have some idea what we're doing?
Well, we've we've gone with the very hands-off approach on this one, and it seems to have worked a little. So
I think this time it's the first video we've actually been in, and I think that's made a massive difference.
Yeah, because I guess it becomes multimedia, and that way people, there's always that fascination, isn't there, when you sit behind a microphone, as the three of us do at various times.
Yeah,
people just want to know what you look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
In my case, they're generally disappointed.
Yeah, well, I guess with the music too, they want to actually know if you're playing it or not.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, and it always fascinates me. I was watching TV the other day, and they were talking to a guy who was the producer, I think, of a record, and they were short a guitarist, so they stuck a guitar in his hand to mime for the video clip. And he said, I had no idea what I was doing, and they showed it, and he was right. So Ashes and Dust has been out 2 or 3 weeks and of course available in all of your online places, but it will be on a CD/record/full album coming up soon. Talk a little bit about that if you would.
Well, I mean, I guess we were looking at doing something a little bit more rootsy, kind of bluesy, kind of bluegrass, country kind of thing, and
we've kind of rolled that all into one.
It's gone into the blender.
Created some kind of sound. Yeah. Seems to have worked.
This one will be called The River, as I understand it.
Yes. So we're, sort of wanted to take a bit of a darker theme with this one. When you see the artwork, that sort of flows on through that too. But yeah, some of the songs, I don't know, I seem to have somehow written a theme involving America and the Midwest and the old Wild West. I don't know where it's came from, but there we go.
Yes, well, we'll talk a little bit about the other song that we're going to premiere right here. But yes, that has a similar sort of feel to it, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I still think it should have been called Toowoomba. But anyway, that's okay. We'll talk about that when we get there. So tell us a little bit about, last time we spoke to you, things were obviously fairly serious with COVID and not being able to perform. Have you been able to perform much since then?
Yeah, a little bit. A few shows here and there. It just kind of starts getting going, and then the reins are pulled back a little bit, and we lose all our shows again. But I just did a couple recently. I went from having no shows to maybe having 3, and then end up playing 2 in one day. So
of course,
it kind of came about all by accident, really.
And, of course, as we speak, Victoria just coming out of lockdown again. So we would hope that there'll be some opportunities for people to come and actually eyeball you doing this stuff. Yeah,
well, as restrictions lift, the venues have more confidence in employing musicians because they're allowed the numbers. And the bigger the numbers, the more likely we are to get a gig. So hopefully, the ball gets rolling again and we can get out playing again.
Well, for people who want to get in touch with Eric and Janine to offer them an opportunity to do a gig, just go to the No Promises website, which is nopromises.com.au. There's a contact form on there. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. Now, Janine, you're the one who seems to come up with these ideas for these songs. Let's walk through the process, because the folks listening would probably be interested in knowing this. You wake up one morning and you go, I think I want to write a song about ashes and dust. What happens?
It's not limited to one morning.
So you've woken up and you think to yourself, I'm going to write a song about ashes and dust. Take us through the process from there to what we just heard on the wireless a little while ago.
Well, quite often I'll wake up with a melody in my head and a few sentences. Other times I'll just sit down, and specifically write about a theme if I can. But generally they just come to me all of their own accord, and then I just follow that on through, and they're usually pretty quick. Some are written in a couple of minutes, some are like 10 minutes. But yeah, they're usually pretty quick. And I don't know. It's just, they just come out.
I'm reminded of the story of a chap called Paul McCartney. I think you're probably familiar with some of his work. And it is said that he woke up one morning and wrote a piece of music called Scrambled Eggs. And he got in his motor vehicle and drove around to a friend's house, sat down in front of a piano and said, have you ever heard this song before? And reeled it off. And the guy said, no. And he said, good. That means I must have written it. I haven't stolen it from somewhere.
I do that all the time with a friend of mine. My friend of mine, Fiona, that I sing with as well.
Yes.
I'll write something and then I'll play it to her and go, have you heard that? Because she's got a very extensive knowledge of music, and normally if she doesn't know it, I'm good to go.
Well, he changed the words from scrambled eggs to the words yesterday, and had a reasonable hit with it along the way.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you've got the song, you've written it down on a piece of paper, and you've guitarred it. That's a technical expression for those listening. How does it then become? How does it then become a song that is recorded and released?
Well, I'll generally come up with it, and then I'll record it into my phone. Mm-hmm. Quite crude, but it works. And then I'll send like on a video. So then I'll send that to Eric, and then he just works his magic on it. He's brilliant.
Okay. And so, Eric, you hear the song and go, oh, I think I know what I need to do here with instrumentation and stuff and arrangement. That's equally intuitive, or is it hard work?
It's very intuitive. 99% of the time I've tapped into where Janine's going with the song. And I've just got this thing where I just come up with these little guitar licks just straight away. It's a blessing and a curse, really, because, I can do it really quickly straight away, but then, we have to perform them live as well. So I have to remember them.
Yes.
And that's not always successful. So I end up writing new ones for the live performance as well.
Because, are you the sort of person that writes down the arrangement, or is it something you just remember in your head so that when you are performing it live, it just comes out?
Yeah, I don't write it down. It just comes out.
Okay. Yeah, because I think people who are as talented as a musician as I am, brackets not at all, close brackets, they don't get the concept. And someone explained it to me once. It's a bit like driving a car. The first few times when you're driving a car, you're really clunky, but after a while, you just get in the car and drive. Sounds like a start of a country and western song in itself, doesn't it? But I guess that's a bit like what it is. You know what the song is. It just happens. It
does, yeah. It's really...
There's not very often where you've sent me something and I've gone, I don't like that, or that's not how it's meant to go.
Actually,
you generally get it.
Funny you mention that, because there's a couple that happened to, and I just put them to one side. And I've recently brought one of them back, or two of them back, and Janine's gone, actually, that sounds okay.
Yes. So it is very creative, isn't it, the whole process?
Oh, yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. I just wish I had more time to do it, that's all.
Yeah. And so we've now got a song. You've worked out what it's going to be, and presumably you need to record this sitting in the same place at the same time?
No.
Okay.
We mastered the art of remote recording during lockdown last year. So I've got a studio in my house, and Janine was able to last year visit a friend of ours, Mark Drury, who's a great percussionist and drummer, as well as recording and producing and photography, and I don't think there's much he can't do.
He's definitely our go-to guy. It's amazing.
So Janine goes over to Mark's house and records the vocal, and I do the rest here, all the instruments here. Apart from drums and percussion, I don't do much of that.
And so then we now have a final product, and you then approach not record stores, as in online stores, and basically just put it out there. Is that how it works?
Basically, just lots of emailing different radio stations. There's a website, as you'd be familiar with, called AMRAP.
Yep.
That we put on there that all radio stations have access to find new music and play it. So yeah, basically, it's just a lot of emailing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Word of mouth, all that.
Not too many responses, but occasionally you get some positive feedback, so that's good.
Which is good, and I'm hoping that is growing. You're listening to goRadio.Live on a Friday night, and I'm chatting to Eric and Janine from No Promises. Don't forget, coming up after 8 p.m. on goRadio.Live, the goRadio.Live Top 30 Beatles Songs Countdown. I hope you can stick around for that. Now, we've got some very exciting news for our listeners, the upcoming release of yet another song. Janine, you wrote it. Talk us through that new release.
This was one of those 2 a.m. song hits you in the face things. I woke up one morning, yes, it was like 2 a.m. or something ridiculous, and I had the whole melody of the chorus and the lyrics in my head, and so I've crept out of bed, trying not to wake anyone, and I've pretty much sung it into my phone, and then I've just written the lyrics down. Yeah, pretty much just sent it to Eric the next day, very excited about this this new song I'd come up with. Once I'd done the chorus, that gave me an idea of what the theme was, which is kind of a bit of a dark theme that I wanted to explore. And there you have it.
And the reason I said it could have been written about Toowoomba is because it's got the same syncopation. Look at me. The same syncopation as the name of the song, and the name of the song is Odessa.
Yes, I don't even know how that popped into my head.
I'd never heard of it previous to this.
A friend of mine was saying, maybe because there was a TV show that I used to watch called Heroes. I don't know if you remember that show. They all had
probably before my
superpowers.
time.
And the cheerleader came from a town called Odessa in Texas, and that's the only way I can think of that I would know that name. I've had a couple of other songs off the album. There's one called Montgomery Rain. So, Montgomery, what would make me think of that town? I have no idea, but this is that American theme that we're sensing through the album.
Well, I was talking to someone. I had breakfast with someone the other day, and we were talking about this conversation that we were going to have, and we were talking about the fact that you've written songs about America, and there's not many people who sit down and write songs that are Australian themed. I think back to Johnny Chester and his Highway 31 and Glory, Glory, I'll be back to see the Story Bridge, and you get the occasional Paul Kelly song, talking about St Kilda, King's Cross and all that sort of stuff. But there's this thing about writing songs about America, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's that whole
mystique.
Yeah, and romanticism, I guess, about like the Wild West and and I know we had that here too, but it was, a lot of the movies and things you see, it's all America, Wild West, and I guess that sort of gets ingrained in you.
Yeah, well, probably the folk of Toowoomba wouldn't be terribly pleased about this particular song anyway. I read somewhere the other day that someone suggested this. Imagine Richard Marx sitting down with Don Henley and writing a song about a town in Western Texas. Then imagine getting the Eagles to record it with Stevie Nicks singing backing vocals. Now, that's a fairly good rap for this song, but it's got that kind of feel to it, hasn't it? The opening line, as people will hear in a short time, because we are very excited to be the first station to play it, but it really is that kind of Richard Marx, Hazard, Eagles kind of sound to it, hasn't it?
Yes, that's a great compliment.
Now you mention it, it does a little. I hadn't thought about it previously, but very great compliment, yes.
So you've recorded that. Now you've said today that you've been doing the video clip. How do you go about doing a video clip for a song? That would be something that people would be fascinated in as well.
I have no idea. We just make it up as we go along.
Yep.
We miming to the recording, and we've been using stock footage with all our videos as well. So the last video we combined stock footage. No, we didn't combine any stock footage.
The last one was just all of us.
All of us, yeah. But this one we're combining stock footage with us performing in my studio.
I found some footage that just fits the storyline perfectly. So we decided, and we're very time poor, so we figured we would meld the two together and hopefully it works.
Well, it would have been awfully difficult in these COVID times for you to get across to Odessa in Western Texas and video it, so it's probably a sensible approach to take.
Yeah, the logistics were rather difficult, so yeah.
So the other thing I guess that fascinates me is, you see video clips of the big commercial artists, and clearly they've recorded the several lots of the same thing. How many times do you have to play the song and record it to get the video right?
Do you want to answer that one, Eric?
Lots.
You may recall I mentioned earlier that I come up with these little guitar licks, and then I forget how to play them.
Yep.
Well, that
becomes a problem.
Becomes a problem when you're trying to record the video and playing the guitar convincingly enough to make it look like you're actually playing the song.
Yeah.
So I have to, with this song, I deliberately kept the guitar solos simple.
Yes.
In the hope that I might remember how to play them, but it was challenging. Let's just say that.
Yeah, because you look at some of those videos and you think to yourself, they must have performed, the song 100 times to get all the different angles and different costumes and all that kind of stuff.
Well, today we used 3 or 4 cameras in my studio, and we went through the song at least twice.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of takes where I just wasn't
convincing enough.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I just. Yeah, that's right. I wasn't convincing. I wasn't even convincing myself.
Yeah, when
Let's
you're not
just say
convinced,
that.
it's hard to convince the watcher, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
So the song Odessa, it's spelled Odessa. When can people buy it? Obviously, they're about to hear it in the next couple of minutes, but when
Tomorrow.
can people buy it?
Well, not tomorrow. What am I saying? It's the week. Yeah. The
Next
following
Friday?
week. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Friday the 25th.
Yes, that makes it easier, doesn't it, if we actually put a number on it? And where can people buy it from?
You can buy
all the usual culprits.
you can buy it from. Actually, buy a download from iTunes.
Yep.
You can use the streaming services as well as watching the video clip on YouTube.
Yep.
We get paid for all of those, but when we record the album, when we finish recording the album and we release it, that is the most beneficial way that for us that people can buy it, and we'll have that for sale on our website once that's completed.
Okay, well, we will encourage, you'll let us know, obviously, when the album's out, and we will continue to push that as much as we can. But in the meantime, folks, my understanding is through the streaming and the YouTube, you get a little bit of money, you get a little bit more if people buy the actual track. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. iTunes, you can definitely buy it from iTunes.
Yep.
I don't know, is there anywhere else?
Google.
You can buy music, buy it down.
Music?
Music, Amazon, there's heaps of...
Okay.
Yeah. So you're obviously the musical technician. We know who the online expert is. So folks, get out and buy it. I mean, it's going to cost you half a cup of coffee, and it's a great song. If you haven't already bought Ashes and Dust, get out there and buy that now. Do yourself a favour. There you go. No one's ever said that in their life in music. And also for folks who are about to buy Odessa, it's out Friday next week. So Friday the 25th of June. And we will encourage you to buy that. Eric, Janine, thanks for joining us on goRadio.Live tonight and giving us first crack at hearing Odessa on the radio.
Thank you so much, Neil.
Thank you very much.
Before we play the new song, a quick reminder to stick around after 8 p.m. for the goRadio.Live Top 30 Beatles Songs Countdown. But for now, here are No Promises and their soon-to-be-released single, Odessa.
Summer of '99, he was looking for something new. She was looking for love. He told her that she was beautiful. She thought he was the one. The woman now went into overdrive. She didn't listen to one. He bought a house on the avenue. They got married in June. He got tired of being tied down, and he drank by the light of the moon. And I know you'll take the fall right there in Odessa. And the words out on the street keep dragging you down. She cries out in the night when he turns to want the bottle, but he's not going down without a fight, and she's running out of time. Grace, the way she smiled with her eyes, but you could tell that something wasn't right, and the bruises she tried to hide. You could not bear to see her pain. You promised to end it all. When the shot rang out on that fateful night, buried the evidence down. And I know you'll take the fall right there in Odessa. And the words out on the street keep dragging you down. And she cries out in the night when he turns to want the bottle. But he's not going down without a fight, and she's running out of time. Right there in Odessa, and the words out on the street keep dragging you down. She cries out in the night when he turns to want the bottle, but he's not going down without a fight, and she's running